Hello there. Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I'm the host of this channel. So, this is the Into the Progverse episode that I do on Sunday nights, in which I bring a topic to the table and discuss it. And anybody has comments, I try to answer them. That's what I try to do on this. So I'm a bit early, so I'm not really rushing to get right into it right away because people may join us at some point. Um, so this channel, basically, we are a prog channel, obviously, where I am a prog channel host. Prog is generally my favorite type of music. But I like lots of different stuff too. Some stuff's not even rock oriented, right? So that's what the white one up there is full of stuff that isn't rock at all. It's basically crooning stuff, but I don't do much crooning stuff here on the channel. I just basically I like to listen to it certain time periods. I feel brings me back to that 1950s, 60s feeling that I enjoy having. And that's what I do with that kind of music. But prog seems to be my favorite, although I've grown probably a little bit more into psychedelic rock. And lately I've been listening to a lot of that southern blues rock, swamp rock, or whatever you want to call it, from the South in the United States. And I quite like some of that stuff quite a bit too. I did go through a period where I liked it a lot and then kind of got away from it a bit. I think some music just sits with you well, and other music maybe not so well. And then some music you grow into. Like I wasn't really a big psychedelic music liker, and I kind of grew into it. Anyways, I guess we can get started now that it's 8 o'clock. So tonight's topic is albums released, rock albums, my favorite rock albums, or albums that were released in 1974. I've got a stack here of about 10. I believe it's about 10. It might be more than that. It's actually a dozen albums here. And then I got a few more on the list that I'd like to have, but I don't own at the moment. So I'm going to get started. These are not going to be presented in any specific order, just as I have them here on the stack, which is just randomly put here. Lots of good albums came out in 1974. I think 73, 74, 72, 73, 74. Probably, to me, they're probably among the very best years of progressive rock. So we're going to start with this one. This is from Yes, their Relayer album. So let me see here. This would be their seventh, I believe, seventh studio album. Am I right on there? I think I am. They also had a live album that came out in this same year, really. So this album, a little bit different than their earlier stuff. So it's kind of set up similar to Close to the Edge, which was their big album. It's got 3 long tracks, one of them side long, and then 2 10-minute episodes, which is pretty much the same kind of setup as you got on Close to the Edge. This one, however, much better album cover, I think. That's the first thing. And the other thing that's a lot different with this album is this is a little bit leaning more towards that jazz fusion kind of realm as well. So this, to me, this is somewhere halfway between the Gates of, the Tales of the Topographical Ocean and Close to the Edge. So Close to the Edge is to me, a much more rock progressive sound. Tales of the Topographical, maybe a little bit more on that jazz fusion-y side. This one's maybe a little bit in the middle. I think it's a little bit more in the middle. But some of their best Guitar playing is on this album. Some of their best keyboarding is on this album too, and doesn't even have Rick Wakeman on it, which is kind of different, right? So this is the first album after Wakeman left. He left the band, and they replaced him with Patrick Moraz in the corner there. Sorry, don't mean to be yawning. I do like the full shade of this album cover. That's an alien world. Kind of reminds me of the Tapestry trilogy. Whenever I see it, these guys on horseback kind of remind me of that. So Relayer, 3 tracks on it. One side-long epic with the title track, Gates of Delirium. Really great tune. Really lots of stuff going on in that tune. I never liked this album initially. It was the only one of the ones I bought in the 80s that I didn't care for it. It took a while before I started to warm up to it. Now I like it quite a bit, but back then didn't really care much for it. Sound Chaser, of course, is epic guitar solo on it. And then To Be Over, I like kind of a little bit like And You and I. It's kind of the And You and I tune here. So really great album. If you haven't had a chance to check this album out and you like that progressive Yes stuff, I think you should give this a try as well. Next up, being a bit cloddy today, keep bumping into things all day. So next up, sorry, my eye got a little bit of is Genesis, Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. So there's kind of 2 mindsets on this album. The one mindset says this is a genius album and is their best album. A lot of people feel that way about it. It's a double album telling a story. Story's a little bit on the bullshit side, but some of the songs are great. But to me, there's a half a dozen songs on here. Sorry, I know they're part of the story, but they just are not particularly good. I don't find them interesting at all. This album to me also feels like it's an outlier. So I am not. And then there's the group of people, the second type of view on this, people that feel like me that this is an outlier. It's not that it's a bad album. I think it's a good album. I think it's just not in the same line from Trespass right through to Wind in the Wuthering. They all kind of feel similar in a lot of ways. This one doesn't feel that way. It feels different. And yeah, just a very different sound to it. And it's good. It does have some stuff on here that's fantastic. Of course, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. I like the Cuckoo Cocoon, and In the Cage, of course, is fantastic. Carpet Crawlers, of course, everybody likes that. Most people like that anyways. I like Here Comes the Supernatural, and I'm not going to get this word right, Anthelmist. Yeah, really good. Overall, though, it's a pretty strong album, just different from the other albums. Even the cover is different. So The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, for those of you. Hello, Redhead. Welcome to the channel. That's great. That's great that you can do that. That's always wanted to learn to play an instrument other than the drums, but I always do the same damn thing. I start out gung-ho, practicing for hours on end for the first month or two, and then I get off, and then I have to go back and start again with anything I try with where music instruments are. I've tried guitar, trumpet I played pretty much entire time I was in high school, and then just never continued with it after that. Yeah, Lamb is a good album for that. That's for sure. Some of Steve Hackett's best stuff, I think, is on that album. The next album up is going to be this one. Now, some people might say this isn't really a prog album, but I beg to differ. The album looks like a prog album. There are some stuff in here that's really proggy. Crime of the Century, of course. I just find this to be fairly proggy. It's I guess what you call prog pop. You know, I guess that's what you might want to call it. But such a very good production-wise album. The songs are fantastic. I think this is easily their masterpiece. As much as I like Breakfast in America, I still think this is their best album, although I do like their first few as well. So, yeah, this one has, of course, School, which is really sometimes bone-chilling for me. Bloody Well Right, great track. Like, there's no bad tracks on this album. Strong album, produced by Ken Scott as well. Yeah, just a really good album. They probably reached their best album when they did this, but then they went on to more commercial success later. But still, great album. Crime of the Century by Supertramp. And the next album up we're going to go to is from probably my second favorite band, which is Jethro Tull. This one was kind of new to me when I started the channel. So I had 5 or 6 Jethro Tull albums in the bank that I'd listened to fairly extensively over a decade worth of time before I started this channel. So yeah, so I was in 21, and most of those albums from the early that I was listening to, I started listening to in the early part of the century. So a good 15 years of listening to them. And then this one was kind of the first one that I got into that I had never owned before, War Child. And I quite like this album quite a bit. Especially, there's a couple tracks on here, of course, Bungle in the Jungle and Skating Away on the Thin Ice of A New Day are fairly well-known Tull album songs. But some of these other stuff is really good. The Queen and Country. The title track is really good as well. The Third Hurrah, I like that a lot as well. A pretty strong album. Kind of a different cover, though. The back is kind of confusing as well, but still pretty good. So, War Child. So this is their 74 release. Really good album. This one had a little bit of a controversy when it was, I don't know if the album wasn't really a controversy, but they had produced another album, and one like thick as a brick, an album length, basically one song type album again, called The Passion Play. And then the next album out, they produced, now if I see if I can get this right, they produced another album which they didn't release, and then produced this one and did release. But there's a lot of stuff on this album, on the bonus tracks that were never released prior to this. And I think a lot of them are just as good as the album myself. But Jethro Tull's known for that, especially years later, releasing almost a full-length albums for each of the albums that they originally released. Lots of good stuff. So next up is this album, Power and the Glory, Gentle Giant. This one's waiting its turn to go into my playlist. This is a Steven Wilson remix, this particular version. I have a hard time with this album, keeping it from getting damaged, because it has this book that slides out when I try to put it away all the time. But I'm looking forward to really getting into this album. Proclamation, of course, I already know from the live album that I have and some of the live shows that I've seen. This one, of course, features the Showman brothers, Derek and Ray, Kerry Minier, Gary Green, and John Weathers on this as well. So this is kind of to me, there's the earlier Gentle Giant stuff, the first 4 albums, and then the stuff that came after. And this is one of them. Really, really quite a strong album, though. Came out in 1974, of course, because that's what the year we're doing. Really good album. Power and the Glory. I'm looking forward to getting a regular listen to it once it goes into the playlist. So we're going to move on to the next album. This is one of two from this band this year, Red. So this one is also waiting its turn to go into my playlist as well. I'm now up to the 7th King Crimson album, which I believe is this one, number 7. So far with King Crimson, I've listened to the first 6 I've had the first 6 in my playlist. I do have the others. I have listened to them all, but some of them are just waiting their turn to get a playlist. This one's next up. So the first 6, I'm kind of a mixed mind with them. So I've got 3 that I really like a lot, and then probably 3 that I don't really care for. So it's kind of a hit and miss with me. Sometimes the albums take off, and sometimes they don't seem to take off. And I'm not really sure why that is with them, but that's what it turns out to be. So this one features this is a threesome here. Robert Fripp on guitars and mellotron, John Wetton on bass and voice, or vocals if you prefer, and William Bruford on percussions and drums. And there's a few other people that play a few things on here. David Cross plays some violin, Mel Collins some soprano saxophone, Ian McDonald some alto saxophone, Robin Miller some oboe, and Mark Cherig on cornet. So a little bit of add-ons in it. Band always was switching around their people, but their albums are very different from each other. First couple sound the same, then the next 2 or 3 are not too dissimilar, and then they change again. But this one is pretty damn good, I think. Looking forward to that one being in the playlist. Hopefully it'll take off for me. Next up is an album I like a lot, one of my favorite albums from this year, Hall of the Mountain Grill. This is the 4th studio album of Hawkwind. Sorry, drew a blank there. This is called the Hall of the Mountain Grill. A lot of really good stuff on here. Probably one of their best songs is the Psychedelic Warlords Disappear into Smoke. Really good. This whole album is really good. Really put these guys on the map in a big way for me. I had heard some of their stuff before and liked it, but really this was the first one that I bought. And I bought it because it was the one that most people said was the best. So that's why I went with it. I do like the album cover quite a bit as well, as you can see. And the back cover is quite a good bit. Really good too. Space rock band. Lots of really good heavy stuff on here. Lots of catchy songs. I like the space rock genre quite a bit. And this one has some bonus stuff. You have Paradox, You Better Believe It, the single version, the Psychedelic Warlords Disappear into Smoke, the single version, and then Paradox, the remix single version as well. So there you are. Hall of the Mountain Grill from Hawkwind. Okay, next up, we're going to go to an album that's going to get double duty this week. It's my album for tomorrow night for my look back at a classic rock album. I swear I didn't plan it that way. It just happened out. So this is Rick Wakeman's Journey to the Center of the Earth. So I listened to it yesterday, and I'll probably listen to it again tomorrow while I'm presenting it as my album or my look back at a classic rock album for the week. It's a very interesting album. It's almost like a story. The keyboards are fantastic, of course, all kinds of different sounds. He uses the English chamber choir here. He's of the London Symphony Orchestra. All these people are involved in this album. And then, of course, there's his fantastic keyboards. And I consider this guy to be the very best keyboardist in rock history. Some people would go with Keith Emerson, but, you know, 1 or 2 is okay with me, but I like this guy better. He's He's more up my alley, I guess, more in my wheel well, in my wheel. Yeah, really good. Produced by Rick Wakeman, of course, too. So Journey to Center of the Earth. I think this is his third or possibly fourth album. I think it's his third, though. Next up, this is an album I just got not too long ago, and I've been starting to listen to it. This particular one is, I think this is a concert one, Caravan and the New Symphony, complete concert recorded at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane in 28 of October in 1973. Some good stuff on here. The dog, he ain't it again. He's at it again, sorry. Yeah, I've only listened to this maybe half a dozen times. I already kind of like it. They're kind of a quirky band. I found them hard to get into, but once I got into them, I started liking them and wanting to listen to more. Difficult to find their albums, though. So Caravan, the New Symphony, the complete concert. Next up, the other King Crimson album for this year, Starless and Bible Black. This one was in my playlist. I like it. It's not bad, but it just didn't take off the way Large Tongues and Aspic did for me, although it's pretty good. This one has Bruford, Wetton, Fripp, and David Cross playing violin, viola, and keyboards on it as well. So I think this came out first. Obviously this came out first, and then Red came out after it. I got this in the book form. I got like when I started my King Crimson collection, I got like 5 or 6 of them in one day, and they were pretty much all in this book form. The first one I got, of course, was in the Court of the Crimson King. I got that, and then I got these. I went there one day, and they had all these in this book form, so I took them all, and not regretted it. I'm still working my way through them, and this one I've already had in my playlist. Didn't do as well as I hoped it would, but I know with King Crimson, it takes a while for them to really kind of formulate in my head, so I'll probably give it a second chance once I get through the disc, go back and start listening to them again. So next up, we got 2 more left here on my list. The next one up is from Queen 2. Clearly, this is a progressive rock album, very different than most other Queen stuff. I never really warmed up to this album. There's some good stuff on here, no doubt. Very storytelling-ish, which is good. This is their kind of attempt at progressive rock. They did a pretty good job at it. That's just not. I just never really warmed up to it, other than the White Queen at the beginning, and the other Queen. Where is she? I don't see her. Oh, the Black Queen, the March of the Black Queen. I like that. Those 2 are the 2 I like. The rest of them, yeah, it's not really warmed up to the album, I guess is the best way to describe it. Next up is an album waiting its turn. We got a bunch of these are waiting their turn in my playlist, but I think this one I've listened to a fair number of times, and I already know this is going to be one of my favorite albums by them. This is Camel's Mirage. It's quite a bit heavier than their other stuff too. That's part of the reason why I like it. It's got that heavy, on the heaviness meter, it's pretty heavy for a Camel album, extremely heavy. Lots of good stuff on this. I've listened to it like maybe a half dozen times, a couple times since I've gotten it. I was listening to it online before. To me, this is as people have said, this is an essential progressive rock album to own, and now I do. I have their first half dozen albums anyways, or maybe even more. But this one, I think, is going to end up being my favorite in the long run. So those are the ones that I own that came out in 74, but we also have some that I don't own but have put down on my list of albums that I would like to get. One of those is Tangerine Dreams, Feta. I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be wrong, but that one I would like to get. And then there's a couple of Griffin albums, their second and third albums, Midnight Mushrumps and Red Queen to Griffin 3. Both of these are very good albums, excellent. And I'm not sure which one I like better, but every now and then I feel like listening to it. I don't have them, so I listen to them online, but I like both of them quite a bit. Then we have a Barclay James Harvest album that came out this year. Everyone is Everybody Else. I don't know, haven't listened to this album, but I have liked the two that I do have, so this will be one of the ones I'd like to get. Rock Bottom from Robert Wyatt. So this album was originally in one of my Battle of the Bands or Battle of the Albums, and I think it was the other Prog War. I think that's the one it was in. Did reasonably better than I thought, and I kind of liked it, even though it's a little bit on the psychedelic side too. So Rock Bottom is the album from Robert Wyatt. Next one up is a guy who I've recently gotten into in the last half a year. I've got two of his albums now, including Tubular Bells and Discovery are the two I have. But Hagest Ridge, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, is from Mike Oldfield. This is an album I would like to have as well. And then the last one kind of on my list of albums I would like to have that came out this year is the Renaissance Turn of the Cards album. I've listened to this album in its entirety. I do like the album cover quite a bit as well. So this is definitely a band that is growing with me in leaps and bounds, and definitely will be a band that I would like to get a little bit more into. So that's it for the albums that I've decided to bring up tonight in 1974. I didn't actually put this, set this video up until the other night. So after this is done, I will set the next one up so that people are a little bit more headway as to when it's happened. Also, it's football playoffs too, so I get that. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed the video and the discussion about the stack of albums. I'll give them to you back. So one last time, the ones I have anyways: Camel, Mirage, Queen 2, King Crimson, Starless and Bible Black, Caravan and the New Symphony. It's a Symphonia, sorry. That's a live album. Rick Wakeman's Journey to the Center of the Earth, Hawkwind's Hall of the Mountain Grill, King Crimson's Red, Gentle Giant's Power and the Glory, Jethro Tull's War Child, sorry. I want to say Warhammer, but that's a game. Supertramp's Crime of the Century, Genesis and The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Fantastic guitar on this. And more fantastic guitar on Relayer's Yes is Relayer, sorry. So those are the albums I own, and the ones I didn't own I gave you early as well. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like and subscribe, and we will be back next week with 1975. So we're moving along here. I'm probably going to do at least till 77. If there seems like a lot more interest to go on to 78 and 79, then I will. But I will probably go to at least 77. So anyways, I appreciate you showing up today, Redhead. And I appreciate the people who come and watch the channel. And we will see you all next week on Into the Progverse. Take care. Have yourself a good one, and goodbye.